Okay, today's question, final question on the paper, and I've got to say, I don't think this is terrible. Draw the diagram as best as you can. It doesn't need to be super accurate, it just needs to be a reasonable proxy, and give it a go. It kind of falls out. I don't want to say the next sentence. I'll start with the next sentence in a second. So come back, let's see how you do. All right, so that sentence was going to be, when you get a question like this, whether it's in a GCSE exam, an A-level exam, something beyond that, label as much as you can and try and get it to fall out. And that's basically what I did here, and it just kind of worked out for me. So let's pull the diagram up first. There's my diagram. What do I want? Always concentrate on what I want. I want this here, SQ. And then it tells me a load of stuff in the question I'm just going to try and fill in. So the first thing I note is this PS bisecting. So start down here with my yellow angle. So in other words, just be clear, Q to P to S is angle yellow. Now, because it's bisecting Q to P to R, that must be yellow as well. So far, so good. I've got something. Then I notice that this angle here, the purple angle, must be equal to 2 yellows. And how do I know that? Because the question tells me that these two lines are parallel. Now, at this stage, I've done the thing you need to do often on these questions, which I've used two very different facts to get angles that are connected. And that then allows me to often set up equations, which aren't circular equations, but equations that are different, which often things then fall out. So I'm feeling like I've actually done the hard bit to a degree. If the purple angle is there, that means this green angle here is 180 minus that. Okay, so far. Now I'm going to go to the next page where I'm going to put thetas on and explain this slightly better. But the point is, if you work your x's through, so call the yellow angle x, and this is 2x, you eventually work out that this angle is also yellow. And now I feel I've broken the back of the question. Now I feel I've done the hard part, and the rest of it is just pulling together. So let's redo that slightly neater. So from the question itself, I know, or I've said this is theta. I've worked out by doing some analysis of parallel lines, etc., that this is this is also theta, which means that this is an isosceles triangle. Now, because I know some lengths, it tells me some lengths here in the question, I must also know that P to T is 7, and that's equal to S to T, because this is an isosceles triangle. And crucially, over here, triangle STQ, I have one angle, I have two sides, and I have one unknown side. This is a cosine rule question. Now, non-calculator. So bit of a concern here that I'm going to get myself lost in really difficult maths that I can't solve. So there's a part of me that's kind of a little bit concerned here that this might be the wrong route and I'm missing something obvious. But the fact I've got 120 is good because I know the cos of 120 and that's something I can deal with quite easily. So let's go anyway. So let's write it out. Cosine rule. Let's expand and collect. So a bit of collecting and I get down to this thing here, which thankfully is a quadratic I can factorize, and suddenly I'm feeling like I've done the right thing. As I say in quite a few of the videos, doesn't mean it's the right answer. Doesn't mean if you get 4 or some nice round number that you've definitely done it correctly, but it suggests you may well have. And in here, I know my answers are going to be x is minus 8 or 3, x is greater than 0, so it must be the case that x, which is equal to SQ, is equal to 3, and therefore it must be answer B. That is today's question done. I don't think that's anywhere near as bad as it could have been, and it definitely was better, or easier I should say, than probably the hard question that we saw last week. Do like, subscribe. We've got another few to go until the SMC comes, so I'm going to sort of continue with a few of these because I quite like them, and we might actually do some from the SMC paper itself once we've got past the date where I'm allowed to show everyone. So obviously I have to wait and hold that back just for security reasons. But like I say, always do leave a comment below and subscribe to the channel. Let's let this channel grow a bit bigger. Thanks all. Bye.